Hi everyone, it's Egor Yeremeev and Smapse Company. Today we're doing a review on Hult Business School in London. An interesting fact is that Hult has buildings not only in London, but they are all over the world. In San Francisco, Dubai, I'm going to meet students, Russian-speaking guys who are doing programs here. They will tell us about business education, they will tell us about private education in general, about their teachers, and what makes business format education different. Here we'll hear the real opinions of the Russian guys studying here. In 2021, London had been placed second on the list of international technological centers. Only Silicon Valley got ahead of it. Thus, the British capital is one of the best places to launch startups. It's also worth mentioning that London companies are very closely related to New York ones. According to the Office of National Statistics of the United Kingdom, over 107,000 startups were created during 2020 alone. Great Britain in general takes leading positions in startups development for years. Entrepreneurs from all over the world choose London to open their new offices, and that's for a reason. London is known for its developed corporate culture. Among fundamental advantages of London is a huge amount of talent, global connections, and access to financing. All these are reasons due to which it continues to occupy high positions and remain the #1 center of startups throughout Europe. Technologies are the basis of the United Kingdom economics, whether it's artificial intelligence, blockchain, cybersecurity, or data analytics. Great Britain is spearheading some of the most breathtaking technological developments in the world, yet one should not think that London fits only for big multinational companies. The majority of London companies have from 1 to 10 employees. Hult has two buildings in London. The first one is for undergraduates and the second is for postgraduate students. They are not in the same place, but both in central London. Now we've just arrived at the postgraduate building. About 500 students study here. Undergraduate campus has about, let me explain, master students are postgraduate, bachelors are undergraduate. The undergraduate campus has about 1,000 students, and as I said, about 500 students here. It's my first school student life experience. Compared with Australia, there was nothing like that. I mean, here you got educational circles, some elective courses. There is a lot of interesting stuff both during studying and after that. So student life continues after the end of the lessons at the university. Next summer I will have to choose my major, which will be finance, and I'm going to take, well, data science or something like that as a minor, just to learn programming at least at a basic level. Next year I will be able to choose 5 or 6 out of 15 financial courses. Most of my teachers are foreigners. Now I've got 2 from Great Britain and 3 foreigners, 1 woman from Romania and man from Tajikistan. I mean, they are all different, which is good because not only students are from all over the world, but also teachers, and they are very interesting. Again, unlike Australia, it's like in Russia over there, you study by the textbook, follow an academic program, you learn stuff, and then you have seminars and solve problems. It's more practice here, more discussions, examples, that's applied education. I take part in consulting and financial clubs. We had an exposition of clubs 1 month ago. There were representatives of all clubs talking about their clubs and events there, and you could choose one of them. All clubs are set up by the students, so if you can't find the club you like, you can open one yourself. Let me emphasize once again how great the space is used in foreign educational institutions. Right now, I'm on the terrace of Hult. You can study here or just take a break. All the district is seen from here. And look, a Hult sign. Actually, I was told that this building used to be a brewery long ago. I mean, an old brewery building was transformed into a university. It's really stylish. First of all, I really wanted to go to business school, not university, and secondly, I was asked this question very often. People compared Hult with other business schools, often stressing that there are more tasks in them. In fact, it's not exactly like that, because sometimes less is more. Hult is a more applied university, and teachers here are huge practitioners with a vast experience in business and entrepreneurship. The curriculum is based on the special programs you're given, not just textbooks which you have to learn and pass tests. We worked with a Quick ID company. It's a startup from India which does user data collecting. They are closely related to banks and financial technologies. We've also got Avian. In particular, we needed to design bottles for Avian, and at the end of the freshman year, I decided that finances as a minor and business analytics as a major would be my pick. Primarily because business analytics includes Python and such applied programs as Tableau. Information visualization is in very high demand, where specialists are well paid at the moment. I've had 2 practices. The most recent one was in Cyprus. Within 1 month and a half, I worked in the financial company Isakov Management as a financial analyst and consultant. My job was to construct financial models for investment portfolios. And second practice, the earlier one, was in travel company, where I worked as business analyst, or rather information analyst. Some people here are more focused on the learning process, some come for practice, others prefer social life and clubs. I mean university clubs. There is no correct choice, because Hult can help you in anything at any time. For example, the career department that can always spur you and help you with your resume. And from my experience, I can say that practice is very important. It's a very big point in your CV. When some companies come to work with the students, you send them your resume either way, and they go over it, and if they see that you'd already been practicing somewhere, you'd have more chances to be accepted by some well-known company. Dean's List is a special preference program for students who study hard and prove themselves in a university. In these programs, students are given additional electives on creating their own brand, for instance. For example, just last Saturday, we had an elective called personal branding. The university invited a professional speaker with 20 years of experience who explained us, in particular to me as a member of the Dean's List, how to build your personal brand properly. Architecture students come to the university building, and you know why? The stair upon which I'm walking right now, it's kind of unique, because it was brought here as a monolith structure in one big piece and installed at the university. So architecture students come here to look at this with their own eyes and understand how it was constructed. Frankly, I have no idea about. that, it's just unimaginable. We've got a startup here in Hult, we founded it here. It started with a simple idea that art can be divided into small pieces and sold by parts. All this has led to us learning the subject in the summer, when we understood that it could be implemented in blockchain. Therefore, we have a limited company registered here. We have a presentation, all papers, everything is official, and tomorrow we have a repeated meeting with the investor where we are going to finally make a deal on financement. How does Hult help in that? We have a program called Founders Lab. Founders Lab is a special elective course in which experienced Hult teachers and external specialists gather and help students to develop their brands. Well, mainly students with brands like clothing or making business cards study there. That is something more tangible, something you can touch, because it's much easier to develop and explain relevant marketing directions to students and share investors' contacts. We have a teacher called Daniel Rukari. He's one of the most popular teachers in the whole university. He teaches entrepreneurship. One of the key features of his course is that he invites real and students solve companies' problems. Also, at the moment, he's bringing us together with his acquaintances from law firm, and he's connected us with Stephen Alexander, another Hult professor who teaches the blockchain 404 course, the most difficult blockchain course. He's living in Australia, the teacher. We connected with him and he told us, oh, I've got a friend in England who runs a financial facility, a crypto facility that invests in crypto-oriented companies and startups. So he gave us contacts of this person and we had a meeting with him 3 weeks ago. I entered right after school. Given that the head campus is located in America, it's very convenient for Russians because it's possible to enter after the 11th grade. One of the main reasons why I've chosen Hult is that they have many campuses in New York, Boston, Shanghai, San Francisco and Dubai. We have a rotation option on the main spring and fall semesters to go to Boston, and we can go to Dubai, Shanghai and San Francisco in summer quarters. I'm going to go to Dubai this summer. I think that getting to know different countries and cultures will be a useful experience for me. Life in London feels similar to Moscow life. It's a very comfortable city with great infrastructure. The campus is located in quite a good place because the city is nearby. You can get to Tower Bridge or the very beautiful embankment on the other side of Thames in just about 15 minutes. I entered after the 11th grade, so all I have to submit was the school certificate with the grades and a motivation letter or a video. You can choose any option, as well as a recommendation from teachers or the principal or some school counselor. Also, you could submit motivation essays for scholarships and, of course, an English language exam. I took the IELTS exam. My level is C1, but I think it's possible to enter even with a B2. And generally, I don't see the problems with English here because even if you're not advanced in English or you were not able to blend in communication with native speakers yet, that is, people for whom it's quite easy to speak and English is almost like their native language. Still, it's easy to understand teachers, and I mean everyone understands your situation and speaks to you not to demonstrate their language skills, but to try to explain to you and make you understand the meaning. People don't have the same language skills in communication too. I think if someone having business education obtained decides to be a scientist after that, or to get second higher education, he will be possessing so great soft skills, great skills in communication and constructive connecting some analytical links with the world and with areas in which he wants to work that it will be useful in any education. A support of people helps a lot, because when I was in high school, for example, people couldn't really understand me, like, to open a business at 18 sounds naive, you're gonna fail. Here on the contrary, everyone supports you, like I'm walking through the campus and people ask me about my clothing brand. It's very supportive and helps a lot to blend in this environment. Besides studying zones, the university also has zones where students can rest. You got table tennis, table soccer, a place where you can drink coffee, and not just one, you can just hang out with your friends and rest on several floors. I think it's cool when the university has not only an academic approach to students when you just study, but also you rest, have a great time, and just like to be. Holidays officially start in May, but if you don't want to rest for 4 months, you can take courses, study all summer and finish university earlier. Well, all clubs are divided into professional and social. Social clubs are for general intellectual development, I would say. For example, a football club where I help guys with Instagram content, shoot their games and make videos. There also was a jamming club, which is actually a music club, where guys gathered with instruments, playing, singing, having fun, and well, it was awesome. And there are professional clubs, the trading club, for example. Basically, guys get together, learn from each other, how to trade, talk about the stocks they bought, etc. It was a really interesting club, but also a very difficult one, so if you aren't good at finances, it's just hard to understand all this, because guys are head and shoulders above you already. Many people consider marketing as an easy major, saying that finances is a hard one and stuff, and marketing is for those creative people who don't know what else to do. I can't really agree with that. I think marketing is actually very difficult to major to. It's not about the difficulty of learning material. The thing is that marketing is a very practical here. For example, one of my current assignments on detailed targeting is to analyze 2 Excel pages that store Google Analytics data for a website. It's unknown what this site is and what company it belongs to. You just have 2 pages with numbers and that's all. And on the basis of these numbers, you have to write an advertising campaign on improving detailed targeting for 4 months. Such tasks are really practical, and no book will help you to accomplish this task. It's only your practical experience you can rely on and your ability to analyze data. I've had 5 internship practices already. When I came to Hult, I was 18 with absolutely no working experience, and our dean told us at every event, "Guys, don't waste your time, find an internship. You're 18 already and still haven't got a single job, it's horrible." And I was very frightened by that, because I wanted to find a job and stay in London. That's why I arranged the meeting with the Hult career advisor. We spoke and started to work on my resume, which was empty, and she told me that I must find a job this summer. No matter how, do your best to achieve it. She helped me with my resume. I was taught how to undergo interviews, well, how to sell myself to an employer, roughly speaking. And that summer I found 2 internships at once. It was in Russia. The first one was in the BBDO advertising agency in Moscow for 3 months, and the second one was a startup called Curlys. It's a chain of beauty salons in Moscow, which opens now. People in Russia think that you should look for a job only after graduating from university. Like, while you're in the university, it's not so important, just enjoy life, study, and that's it. It's an absolutely different vision here. Here at Hult, students have their own startups and working experience at 18. brain and they have so many ideas and expertise. That's why when I came here from a Russian school, I was behind all of them, but soon after I started to catch up fast, work, and now at 20 I've got 5 internships in different companies in London, the US and Russia, and I've got my own startup. I have a BA Marketing in Regent's University, the second top private university in the entire UK. The first is Hult. My close friends who studied with me recommended me to move here, and here I am, studying marketing as well. You mean first you started here at Regent's as a bachelor student, and now you're having your master's program here? Oh yes. The only thing that differs Hult from Regent's for me is how focused we are here on marketing. Professor Vicky Townsley, Professor Margaret James, wife of Professor David James, they are all PhDs. They work with different companies. For example, someone works with a Dropbox company, someone works with a KPMG audit company. The example of the aforementioned Wiki professor, she says, guys, all this information I'm telling you, I actually also tell it to my clients. I mean, well, can you imagine, they are not just professors, but people with a huge experience of working with highly professional companies, with the giants of audit, IT, technological industry. The first impression of the two academic buildings is that they are different. The bachelor's building is more, lively, and here you feel a business atmosphere with many zones for quiet studying. Everything is glazed, and it's perfect if you need to hold meetings and conferences. It's my first impression. But at the same time, when you walk through the campus, you see that it's much larger than it seems from the outside. 4 floors, and for instance, now I'm on the 3rd floor, and again, there are such zones, balconies. You have a view on the London courtyard when you walk out. It's really cool and kind of it looks more like a flat to me, where you can walk out on the balcony and be alone. Generally, our goal is not to lose any contact with alumni. I mean, it's our personal brand, and I've always believed that every person who finished a course in Hult is a brand of the school. They're our honor, and that's why we always want to know what's going on with them. And when any of the students graduate, we still have their contacts in our system, which means that they automatically receive information about school news, about what's going on with our alumni, and some events, so they can always come back to participate both online and in any of the campuses, depending on where they are right now. We have students who start their own businesses, there are those who decided to be in a corporate culture, and of course it's a great experience that they can get back to school and share it with the current students, and also hire them in their companies. We work with the students from the first day, and even before they come to our programs. They have webinars with our career advisors, which help them to start working on their CV. Also, when they've already started a program here in Hult, they have the career exploration stage for the first few months, let's say from September to December, when they work with the career advisors to compose a CV properly. Also, we have alumni sessions on different industries. We organize an event with 4 or 5 graduates from each field who make a reality check for students. Not just to make some advertising and give information about the company, but to show students how it really is here and what to pay attention to, what's better to point out in a CV, what to emphasize during an interview, how you can just get on it, etc. We arrange such sessions to make students understand if this career fits them, because many of them come to school saying, I want to be an advisor, but they don't always understand what it's like to be an advisor, what the work itself includes, I mean, day by day. And well, for this reason, we make such sessions at the beginning of the year to make it possible for students to talk with different graduates and ask them questions. From January, we start sessions with various companies, which means that we arrange so-called company spotlights, meaning that we invite companies that talk about what they do, what programs they have, what qualities and skills they look for in students. It's always a mix of companies like big names such as Bloomberg, PwC, Deloitte, etc., and small startups which might be not known for students, but they're so cool that we invite them, and students actually have great opportunities there and may grow very fast. We invite graduates from big companies where the interviewing process from the moment of submitting a CV to the employment of a candidate might take quite a lot of time. What we try to do is to invite graduates who get to know students and look for those who can be recommended or work in their companies. Thereby, this first step of submitting a CV and selection in companies by recruiters or automated IT systems is kind of skipped. A graduate can recommend the student, which puts him a few steps higher in this system, and some students get the job this way. So we try to develop our own relations with the companies in different directions. My biggest recommendation is, I guess, not to be afraid to step out of your comfort zone, because I myself is from Latvia, from Eastern Europe, and I know that we have completely different education, and usually it's very large audiences where there are several hundreds of people beside you. It's absolutely different here. Even participation in the class life brings you about 20% of the total score. Therefore, it's always important to communicate, talk and express your opinion.
you.